With less than 10, Dan Bell, Garrett Rectal, your top two. Rob Dodge, a long one a couple laps ago, falls to 4. It's Dan, Garrett, Ricky now your top 3 as time expires. Keep it going until she calls you done.
Travis Miller done. Ryder Dodge done. Kevin Foch done. Dan Bell done. Rob Dodge done. Ricky Bobby done. Garrett Riekbel done. All drivers are finished. The race is completed.
Dan Bell, 22:02, going to land that TQ. Dan Bell is on one today. Garrett Rectal, 22:08, 22:09 for Ricky in 3, followed by Rob, Kevin, Travis, and Ryder. That is a race. All stop, all done. Race number
Up
9
next,
coming at
race
you
number
here.
9.
I need a couple of volunteers to help me out with this
13.5
one.
Stadium truck by the Deitch family. Heat 1 of 1. Jackson done. 1 minute to the start of the race. Scott Jackson. "45 seconds to the start of the race. Randy Chong. 30 seconds to the start of the race. "15 seconds to the start of the race. Zach Lalone.
Need a marshal out to 2. Do I have a marshal in front of the driver's stand? Do I have a marshal at the wall ride? Copy that. Need a marshal to 2 and we can get going. Marshal to 2. Again, marshal to the roller coaster into marshal to 2 and we can get going, guys. Let's go. Thank you, William. Appreciate it. All right, drivers, get them rolling. Track is hot. Track is yours.
Donovan Jardee. Andrew Chong.
All right. Looks like everybody remembered their transponder this run. I remember my first day racing. Going live with Scott Jackson, less than 5. So Scott on a 21:03 in that number 1 position. Randy, Chong, Jackson, Dunn doing battle for 2 and 3. So again, green and blue is your leader, Scott Jackson. Neon green, neon blue.
4 minutes left.
Is Randy Chong on that 2 spot. Jackson Dunn with the purple truck. Andrew Chong running 4, followed by Zach, Pablo, and Donovan. .130 into this one. Randy and Jackson, separation 0.8 of a second. Scott Jackson and Randy Chong running together on the track. That is your first and third place car. So Jackson sliding into the middle now in that number 2 spot.
3
It's
minutes
3/10 of a second the separation. That is still your battle on the track. 3/10 for 2 and 3. Getting to halfway, Zach Lalone scratching and clawing his way. Was just in that number 7 spot, finding his way up to 2 here with a couple of good laps. 19 and a 5 flat. So it's a 21 lap pace for your leader. 19 laps for Zach and Randy and Jackson. Zach Lalone now to a 20 and a 5:15. So 20 and a 5:04 was the previous TQ. Scott Jackson looking
2
to beat
minutes
that
left.
here. 3 down, 2 to go. Caution roller coaster. Clear. One minute and 10 seconds left to go in this one. Battle is 2, 3, and 4. Zach Lalone, Randy Chong, Jackson Dunn. Separation is 3 seconds across those 3 drivers. That is for 2, 3, and 4. Donovan, Andrew, and Pablo rounding out the field, but it is Scott Jackson by most of a lap out front.
1 minute left.
Randy gonna make a mistake, falls to 4 here. Scott Jackson, meanwhile, putting down the best lap of the race, 14 flat. One 5 seconds left to go. Scott Jackson goes red here, 16.5 on a 21.5.11. That is still TQ pace. 20 and a 5.12 for Jackson Dunn, equaling his round 1 run. That goes square side, square side. And drivers keep them going
Zach
until she
Lalone
calls
done.
you done. Time has expired.
Scott Jackson done. Donovan Jardy done. Pablo Guerrero done. Randy Chong done. Andrew Chong done. Jackson Dunn done.
That
All
is a
drivers
race.
are
I'll
finished.
stop all done. Andrew
The race
Chong
is
putting down the fastest lap of his race on the last lap, 14.7. It's Scott Jackson going to be your TQ. Jackson Dunn going to finish up in 2, followed by Zach, Randy, Donovan, Andrew, and Pablo.
Up next, race number 10. 17.52 WD Buggy
Going to
by
need a
Pufferfish Racing.
couple of
Heat 1 of 2.
volunteers in this one. I had 7. I've got 1 back to back, which means I need at least 2 volunteers to help me out, please.
One minute to the start of the race. Mike Hood. 45 seconds to the start of the race. "30 seconds to the start
Still
of the
need
race.
Marshall help out here.
15 seconds to the start of the race.
Perfect. Thank you guys
Very
very
torsive.
much. Appreciate the help. And driver's track is hot track is yours.
Less than 5. Mark Rodriguez. Brian Butler. Chris Painter. Scott Grout. Jackson Dunn.
Actually, open that up. Leave it open. All right, going live with, looks like Scott Grout, less than 5. Oh, Mike Hood. Mark Rodriguez taking his turn at the point here, 21 and a 5-12. That would be a 5 spot in the overall.
4 minutes left.
A lot of the guys in the lower heat, the problem is not the raw speed. The problem is actually doing the same thing over and over again. Very easy to throw down a lap. Very hard to throw down 5 minutes worth. Mike Hood going to do his best here. 20 and a 5:05 would be good enough for an A-main starting spot as you get walloped by some traffic there. Mark Rodriguez, Mike Hood still running 1-2. They would be running 7-8 overall.
Three minutes left.
Just under 3 minutes left in this one. Mike Hood out front, 20 and a 5:08. So if you see that solid Dayglow yellow car, somebody spilled a highlighter on track behind you. That is your leader. Chris Painter now up to 2. So Chris Painter having a solid run here in round number 2. Jackson Dunn, Chris Painter is your battle, separated by 1/10 of a second. Jackson in 2, Chris now in 3, 2:45 down, 2:15 to go. Mike Hood, Jackson Dunn, both of those drivers looking to put it into the A main on this run. Chris Painter, Jackson Dunn fighting for that 8th spot
left.
overall. Oh, and Jackson unfortunately breaking something in the left rear. Minute 30 left in this one. Chris Painter left to try and climb that board. He's in that 8th spot overall right here. He has the possibility of getting bumped out. So Mike Hood looking to go 6 overall, 20 and a 5:02. Keeps getting faster. Chris Painter on an 07. That would be good enough for 8. He's trying to get an 06 or better to put Scott Jackson in that bubble spot.
1 minute left.
So Mike Hood on a 20 and an 01. Chris Painter 20 and an 06 with a 5. That'd be good enough for 8 overall. Scott Jackson has now slid to the 8. So Chris Painter on a good enough run to go 7 overall to try and put Scott Jackson in that bubble spot. So 2 cars will be competing for 1 spot if they finish as they are here. 2 cars in the next heat looking to lock in. So Mike Hood on a 20 and a 5:02, looking for 21 laps here, 25 seconds left to go. Chris Painter running in that number 2 spot on an 05, making it an 04, so opening it up just a little bit. Gap is 1.5 back to Mike. They just need to keep doing what they're doing. 10 seconds to go. Finish strong, drivers. Finish strong. Chris Painter comes across now on a 20 and a 5:03, putting a little distance there. Oh, and Mike Hood making a mistake here right at the end.
Mike Hood done.
So Mike Hood finishes up on a 20 and a 5:04, looking for Chris Painter to finish.
Chris Painter done.
20 and a
Scott
5:03, so
done.
Chris Painter takes
Mark
the win in this
Rodriguez
one. Good
done.
enough for 6 overall, out of danger. Mike Hood finishes up 20 and a 5:04, out of danger.
Brian Butler
For
done.
now, although there's 2 cars that are going to run in this next heat. Both Scott Jackson
Barry
and
Torres
Dan
done.
Wilcox will run in this
All
next
drivers
heat.
are finished.
So that
The race is
has the
completed.
potential for Mike to move down to 9 if Scott and Dan both go faster. So right now, Dan Wilcox sitting 10 overall on the outside looking in. No pressure. Chris, Mike, Mark, your top 3. Barry, Scott, Brian rounding out your field here in the first half at 17.5.
Up next, race number 11.
So Chris Painter safe.
17.52
Gonna make that A
by
main.
Pufferfish Racing. Heat 2 of 2.
Worst you'll start is 8.
One minute to the start of the race. Scott Jackson. Bam bam. "45 seconds to the start of the race. Ricky Bobby. Rio Malver. "30 seconds to the start of the race.
All right, let's get the marshals to position here. I had 8 cars. I have 8 buckets. That means I should have
15
0
seconds to the
volunteers
start of the race.
necessary. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Looking for Marshall on bucket 8.
Less than 5.
I did only have 7. Seth Bozer was not here for that one. So I lied. I need a volunteer to 8, please. Volunteer to 8. Everybody is out there where they're supposed to be. Again, volunteer to 8, please. Thank you, William. Driver's track is hot. Track is yours.
Dan Bell. Garrett Riekdal. Rob Dodge.
We have checks on all drivers going live with Ricky Bozer, less than 5. So the bubble time right now is 20 in a 5:04. So if you want to be in that A main, 20 in a 5:04 is your target time. TQ time was a 22:503 set last round. Nobody going better than that here. It's Dan Bell out front on a 22:06. Scott Jackson, Rob Dodge, Rio, and Ricky rounding out your top group.
4 minutes left.
Three and a half minutes left in this one. Dan Bell on a 22-13, looking to go 2 overall. Actually falls back on his round 1 time at this moment. Rob Dodge, your top 4 actually all falling back on round 1. The only driver going faster in round 2 in this run is Scott Jackson and Rio Mulver. Scott feeling that pressure, slides up to 5 now on a 21-5-11.
Three minutes left.
Caution getting onto the straightaway. Caution onto the straightaway. Go down the middle. Clear. So pretty much this whole run going slower this round than they did in round number 1. Scott Jackson, Rio Mulver the exception. TQ looking safe, a 22.03, 2:15 left to go. So Dan Bell is your leader, working into the front, into the rhythm section now, the roller coaster. And through the skip jumps he goes up and over the scoring table. 22-5-11-3, going a little bit faster here in round 2. Inside of 2 minutes to go. So Dan Bell working with Rob Dodge right there. That is your first place car behind you. Thank you, sir. Ricky, Garrett, Scott, Rio, all the battle there. Those 4 drivers separated by 4 seconds. So Dan Bell continuing his very good day here. 22-5-09. Going to get a little closer to that TQ time. 6 seconds off. 1 minute to go, drivers.
1 minute left.
Final qualifying race of the day coming up here in just a minute. Race 12, our modified cars. 2-wheel drive modified. Again, race number 12 coming up next. And I'll need 2 volunteers for this next one. Dan Bell, Garrett Rectal, Ricky Bozer, your top 3. 22 laps for your top 2 drivers. Ricky on the cusp there, 21.5 flat. Hot lap on track that time for Garrett Rectal, 13.393. Dan's got a 13.4 in that number 1 spot, a 13.5 out of Ricky in the 3. Scott Jackson's got a 13.9. Less than 5 drivers. Keep it going until she calls you done. Dan Bell continuing to go a little bit faster, 22.08.
Rio Mulver done. Scott Jackson done.
Oh, come on. Don't slow down. There's still cars that are live.
Ricky Bobby done. Dan Bell done. Rob Dodge done.
Keep going at pace.
Garrett Reekbill done.
That is a race. I'll stop. All done.
Finished. The race is completed.
So Garrett had the good run in round 1. That unfortunate incident, not going to hurt him too bad there. Dan Bell, Garrett Rectal, Ricky Bozer, your top 3 here. Scott, Rio, Rob, and Dan. That is a race. Drivers, park your cars. Get right back out there to Marshall. Again, I need 2 volunteers to help me out with this one.
2 WD modified buggy by Wild Events. Heat 1 of 1. 1 minute to the start of the race.
Again, I'll need 2 volunteers to help me out with this one.
45 seconds to the start of the race. Seconds to the start of the race.
Ricky, try going down 1 tooth on your pinion.
15 seconds to the start of the race.
Or go off like 2 degrees on timing, just that little bit. Yeah. How new are your batteries?
Less than 5.
Yeah, that's probably your problem right there. Good for 4 minutes. Yeah.
Derek Farmer.
All right, we got
Magic Man. Tyler Jones.
We got what we need.
Gavin
Driver's
Dyke.
track is hot. Track is yours.
Chris White. Rio Malver. Kevin Focht. Kyle Johnson. Bradley Sproul. Zach Lalone. Milky.
All right, behave yourselves, please. There are 11 of you now. Ashton decided to join us. Get your spacing. We're going to go live next time by. Going live with Rio. Loop is live. Loop is live. Get your spacing, drivers. Tyler Jones opens up on a 23:01. 23:05 for Derek Farmer. Brett Wilson, 23:08. Everybody in this one still has a chance at it. Top 6 cars separated by just 1.9. That's all the way down to Kevin in 6. Tyler, Derek, Chris, Brett, Gavin, and Kevin is your lead group.
4 minutes left.
Caution in the front. Caution at the base of the hip jump. Good footwork there, Ricky. Nice job. Old but still agile. Agile-ish. So don't pay too much attention to the announcer, but Gavin is in that 3 spot here. Good run here. Tyler Jones, Derek Farmer, Gavin Dyke, your top 3. Chris White, Kevin Foch, Bradley Sproul, Ashton, Brett, Kyle. That's your lead pack right there. Your top 9 still all together. 8 seconds separating your top 9 cars at 1:40 into this race. Modified, a little bit harder to drive. Got to roll into the throttle, roll out of the throttle. Combination of setting the boost, setting the drag brake, everything you got
left
to make the car smoother and easier to drive. This is not about who can drive the fastest. It's about who can drive the smoothest. Derek Farmer and Tyler Jones are doing battle here. 23:08 for Farmer, Jones a 10, Gavin an 01, 22:01 for Gavin, Kevin a 22:04. We got a little bit of a break there. Then it's going to be Ashton and Brett doing battle for 5 and 6. Just over halfway, Tyler and Derek, still your battle, 0.8 of a second. You got 2.5 seconds back to Gavin in that number 3 spot. Kevin now into 3, Gavin in 4. Those 2 drivers locking horns here. 2:15 left to go. It's Kevin, Gavin, Ashton, and Brett, your battle for 2. Chris in that number 7 spot. Kyle, Bradley, Rio, Zach, rounding out your field. 2 minutes left to go.
2
Great
minutes left.
battles top to bottom. Positions changing virtually every lap. And we have a new hot lap on this layout, 12.673 out of Ashton Bristol in that 5 spot. Ashton in that aluminum blue car, down that back straight of that B7. And another one, 12.548, 1 minute 30 left to go. Oh, caution on the square, caution square. So Ashton Bristol now up to 3. It's Derek, Tyler, Ashton, your top 3. Gavin, Kevin, Brett, your battle now for that number 4 spot.
One minute left.
Inside of 1 minute to go. Great heat here. 11 cars in this one. Everybody having a decent run. Except Bradley. I think it's because he's disguised as Dan Bell here. Something going wrong with that car. 40 seconds left to go. Gavin turning a 13 flat there, moves up to 4. Brett Wilson right there with him, 22.08 in that number 5 spot. But your top 3 are locking in. 1.8 seconds separating your top 3 drivers. Oh, Gavin going to have a little bit of a long lap here. 20 seconds left to go. Brett also a red lap as well. So Gavin comes across. Going to slide back to 6. It's Brett, Kevin, and Gavin. Your battle for 4. Less than 10 drivers. Keep it going. Keep it going. Caution, rhythm, and clear. Less than 5. Keep them going, drivers. Keep them going. What a great run, top to bottom in this field. Oh, Gavin.
Done. Zach Lalone done. Gavin Dyke done. Kyle Johnson done. Chris White done. Derek.
All right, race him to the line.
Tyler
Ash and
done.
Kevin Brett to finish. Ash and
Milky
Kevin
done.
Brett to finish. The rest of you are
Magic
done.
Man done. Kevin Foch done.
What a run.
All drivers
All
are
stop,
finished.
all
The
done.
race is
Derek,
completed.
Tyler, Ash and Kevin, Brett, Gavin, Kyle, Chris, Rio, and Zach. Your finishing order. All stop, all done. Give me just a few minutes to post mains. It's 3:20 right now. 3:40, we're going to go racing. 3:40, we're going to go racing. Gavin, come see me in the booth.
Up next, race number 1. Novice by Team Associated. A main.
All right, drivers, it is 3:23 right now. We're going racing at 3:40, so right about 15 minutes. Race number 1 is going to be 21.5 two-wheel drive buggy B main. My marshals for that will be two-wheel drive modified buggy. Again, two-wheel drive modified buggy will be marshaling at 3:40. 21.5 two-wheel drive buggy B main will be racing at 3:40.
Up next, race number 1. 21.52 WD buggy by Brenda Wilson at Health Markets. B main. Red Spencer.
All right, drivers, mains are posted. Mains are posted. Again, race number 1 will be 21.5 two-wheel drive buggy B main. My race 12 is going to be my marshals. That's two-wheel drive modified
John
A
Dunn.
main. So again, 3:40, we're going racing. So timing and scoring is on for the next 10 minutes.
19-2.
I'm just shutting that down at 3:35. And again, at 3:40, we are going racing with 21.5 two-wheel drive
14-5.
buggy B main.
Fourteen 7. Fourteen 4. $36.7. Scott Davis. 14-1. 15 flat. 14-4. 17-3. 208.5. 14-9. 14-2. 13-9. 14-2. 14 flat. 21.8. 18-6. Mark Rodriguez. 14-9. 14-6. 14-9. 14-1. 14-6. 15-1. 14-6. 17-1. 14-2. 15-6. 14-5. 14-4. 13-7. Kyler Faust. 14-6. 14 flat. 14-9. 13-9. 14-9. 37.1. 16 flat. 15-5. 23.1. 24.8. 'Rio Malver. 21 flat. 22.9. 18-7. 19-3. 17-5. 19-5. 17-5. 14-9. 15 flat. 14-4. 14-2. 26.8. 14-7. 22.6. 22.2. 18-1. 15-1. 14-5. 14-7. 14-2. 53.8. 14-6. 20.6. 13-7. Zach Lalone. 14-1. 17-1. 28.7. 14 flat. 15-5. 14-7. 14-4. 'Travis Faust. 38 flat. 19-5. 39.9. 28.5. 17-6. 16-5. 14-6. 17-1. 16-2. 19-9. 19-3. 15-6. 13-5. $16-5. 14-4. 14-4.
Check, check. All right, let's see about getting race number 1 to the track. 21.5 two-wheel drive buggy B main. Again,
15-1.
two-wheel drive modified
15
out
flat.
to Marshall. 21.5 B main to the stand. Two-wheel drive modified to Marshall.
$16-7. Scott Davis. $16-9.
$21.5 B main to the track. 21.5 B main to the track. Two-wheel drive buggy. Two-wheel drive modified buggy out to Marshall, please.
Currently up, race number 1. 21.52 WD buggy by Brenda Wilson at Health Markets. B main.
Is my car charged? Okay. If you need tires, you can run my tires.
1 minute to the start of the
They
race.
got one last run in them. We'll see.
They're crazy balls, but I've been doing good.
Okay. All right, two-wheel drive modified out to Marshall. Two-wheel drive modified out to Marshall.
Maya done. 45 seconds to the start of the race. Dalen Brown. Brendan Bullock. Seconds to the start of the race. Stephen Day. "15 seconds to the start of the race. Donovan Jardee.
Still looking for Marshall's two-wheel drive modified.
Less than 5.
I got 12 of you,
Randy
11 of
Chong.
you. Should have plenty to fill all those buckets. Two-wheel drive modified. Where are you at? Driver's track is hot. Track is yours. Gavin, do I have a Marshall in front of the stand? Do I have a Marshall at the wall ride? Thank you. Do not park on the straightaway. Track is hot. Track is hot. Track is hot. Maya done. Do not park on the straightaway. Track is hot. Let's go. Like, you need to be going. Let's go. And shut him down. Straightaway is closed. Randy Chong going to start off on that number 1 spot. Let me get Travis Faust. Travis. Travis and only Travis, please. Travis and only Travis.
Did I miss Thomas? I took Kevin for a trip. When do you need me?
4.
Travis Faust.
All right, we got everybody. Randy Chong on the number 1 spot. Donovan Jardy on the 2. Card 3 is Stephen Day. Brendan Bullock in 4. Dalen, Travis, and Maya rounding out your field. Let's go ahead and put that purple car in line with everybody else. Drivers ready. Marshall's ready. We're going on the tone in less than 5. Oh, no. False start, false start. All right, drivers ready. Marshall's ready on the tone, less than 5. So again, we have 7 cars vying for 2 positions. Donovan Jardy and Randy Chong, your 1-2. Donovan and Randy just need to keep it rubber side down for the next 4 minutes.
4 minutes left.
Brendan in that number 3 spot. He's 4 seconds back. Donovan, Randy in your bumps. It's Stephen Day chasing down Brendan Bullock. That's 3 and 4. 1 and 2 together down the straightaway, working their way up and down the wall ride. Those 2 drivers just have to hold pace. So Brendan, 8.7 back from your lead group. Oh, Randy going down.
3 minutes left.
Oh. Both Donovan and Randy having a rough time there. So Brendan Bullock is in that number 3 position. He's chasing down Randy. He was 8.5 seconds back. Now only 2 seconds. Randy came across in the lead. Donovan to 2. Brendan is now in 3. 1.5 back from Donovan at halfway. Donovan Jardy in that Corsa gray to white gradient. White wheels. Top 2 separated by 1.2. Top 3 separated by 2.5. It is a 3-way battle for 2 as they work their way into the roller coaster.
Two minutes left.
Caution at the square. Clear. Caution at the hip. Clear. So battle still 2 and 3. Donovan and Brendan, a minute 30 to go. Trying to make it to the end here. So Donovan's had a couple of mistakes that's brought Brendan closer. Brendan having a couple of his own, keeping himself from capitalizing. In through the roller coaster section goes Brendan. Oh, Donovan stuck, going to lose that second spot. So Brendan Bullock to 2. Donovan's already back to 3. So Donovan with 3.5 seconds to overcome. A minute left to do it. That's about 4 laps at the pace that they're running.
1 minute left.
.45 seconds to go. Brendan Bullock in that bright orange car through the roller coaster section. Donovan Jardy working his way to the line. So Randy out front by 8.5. Donovan 2.5 back from Brendan. That's only one mistake, and that gap is closing. Brendan making a mistake in the roller coaster. So Donovan going to be right there. Battle. We got this one plus one more, it looks like. Down the back straightaway. Brendan Bullock, Donovan Jardy in through the infield to go to the center double. Up and over the square. Both drivers clear. In through the roller coaster they go. Going to be about 6 seconds to go as they come across the line. Brendan and Donovan, 5 seconds to go as they hit the wall ride. Travis, you got the battle for 2 and 3 coming behind you?
Maya done.
Oh, no. So Brendan getting booted by lap traffic.
Dalen
Donovan Jardy going to take the bump here on the last lap.
Donovan Jardy done. Travis Faust done. Brendan Bullock done. Randy Chong done. All drivers are
Randy
finished.
Chong.
The race is completed.
Donovan Jardy going to get that bump. Brendan in 3, followed by Steven, Maya, Travis, and Dalen.
Up next, race number 2. 4WD 13.5 buggy by Linwood Auto and Truck Service. B main.
B main for 13.5 4-wheel drive buggy. Need all my drivers back out to Marshall.
One minute to the start of the race.
Yeah, Randy, you're in this one. Yeah, I need 3 volunteers to help me out. 3 volunteers, please.
45 seconds to the start of the race. .30 seconds to the start of the race. .15 seconds to the start of the race.
All right, do I have somebody in front of the driver's stand? Do I have somebody at the wall ride? Thank you. Driver's track is hot. Track is yours. We've got a 1-minute call for Randy. Again, let's go ahead and get him checked in, get him warmed
Stephen
up.
Day. Chris Painter. Scott Grout.
And go ahead and shut down that straightaway.
John Dunn.
So John
Randy
Dunn,
Chong.
your BQ. Chris Painter going to be in 2. Randy, go ahead and take a lap if you want it. Randy will be in 3, Peter Nielsen 4, Steven and Scott rounding out the field. So again, John, Chris, Randy, Peter, Steven, Scott. Again, Randy, the track's open for you. It can only go up from here, right? Just take a deep breath. John, Chris, Randy, Peter, Steven, and Scott. Let's go ahead and get Peter in line with everybody else. What? There we go. All right, drivers. Oh, pulling back, pulling back. There we go. Drivers ready. Marshals ready. We're going on the tone in less than 5. John Dunn getting a little bit antsy over there. Going to go from first to last in lap 1. If you're going to make mistakes, now is the time. So I need a couple of volunteers for this one as well. I need 3 volunteers. Make it 4 volunteers for the next one. I got several back to back. 45 seconds quickly done and over in this one. Chris Painter, Randy Chong, your 2 bumps right now. Peter, John, Scott, Steven, rounding out your field.
Four minutes left.
Anya, is my card charged? Thank you. Race 2 is on track right now. It's our 13.5 four-wheel drive buggy B-Main presented by Linwood Auto and Truck Service. Oh, no, that one. Okay, we're going. Minute 30 down, 3:30 to go. Battle is for the bump. Randy Chong and Peter Nielsen. Peter chasing Randy. Down that straightaway goes Randy. Peter not far behind. Peter running his hot lap of the race, a 15.2 that time by John Dunn, working his way back up to 4. Not far out of the bump, only 3 seconds out of the bump here. So, John, it's not all over until you say it's over. And I won't tell you it's over. John working over the back of Peter. Oh, Peter trying to go, and then John,
left.
Maybe incompatible lines right there, incompatible trigger positions anyway. So Peter in 3, John in 4. Those 2 drivers now 4 seconds back from the bump. Chris Painter out front, 14.5 that last time by. Just over halfway, Randy Chong, Peter Nielsen, John Dunn. Those 3 drivers separated by 1 second. Make it 3 seconds now. Peter dropping out of that group. It's Randy and John now. Randy down the back straightaway. He's working on the back of Stephen Day. That is not for position. John Dunn right there. So battle for 2 and 3 is on. Working. Oh, right as I say something, John runs into some trouble. So Randy gets to breathe again. 1:45 left in this race. Chris Painter is gone. 8.5 seconds the lead. One minute 30 left to settle this one. Peter Nielsen, John Dunn, your battle for 3 and 4. Those drivers sitting 5.5 back from the bump right now. So Chris Painter working through traffic, gets to the line here. Now clear track, no pressure. Your leader with
1
a 10
minute
and a
left.
half second, make it 11-second lead over your second place car of Randy Chong. Randy sitting here 5 seconds up on Peter. Just got to keep it together. Another 45 seconds to go. Twenty seconds remaining. 14-1 that time. New hot lap out of your leader. You're 1 and 2 running together on track. That is a lap separation. So Chris Painter
John Dunn
throwing down
Stephen Day
here in 13.5 four-wheel drive buggy.
Scott Grout done. Chris Painter done. Randy Chong done.
Race him to the line, looking
Peter
for a finish
Nielsen
on
done.
Peter Nielsen. That is
All
a race
drivers
all
are
stop
finished.
all done.
The race is
Chris
completed.
Painter and Randy Chong, your bumps. Moving to race number 9, you've got plenty of time. Let's get all of my drivers plus a few volunteers. I need 3 or 4 volunteers to help me out with this one. Race number 3 coming up next, 17.5 B main.
Up next, race number 3. 17.52 WD Buggy by Pufferfish Racing. B main. One minute to the start of the race. "45 seconds to the start of the race. "30 seconds to the start of the race. Barry Torseth. 15 seconds to the start of the race. Brian Butler. Scott Grout less than 5.
All right. Do I have a marshal in front of the stand? Do I have a marshal at the wall ride? Driver's track is hot. Track is yours.
Mark Rodriguez. Jackson Dunn.
And shut him down, shut him down, shut him down. Looking for a check on Dan Wilcox. I believe I saw a Seth Bozer car out there. Looking for a check on Seth. Looking for a check on Dan. Let's get the rest of that grid set. Mark Rodriguez 1, leave the 2 open. Brian Butler 3, Barry Torseth 4. Jackson Dunn, Scott Grout, Seth Bozer. I have no check on Seth. There we go. There's a Seth Bozer.
Seth Bozer.
All right. Is there a Dan Wilcox on the stand? Copy that. All right. We'll get Seth lined up there in the back. Drivers. Whoa, where'd my marshal for 5 go? Yeah. No, yeah. Where are we at? Okay. Drivers ready. Marshals ready on the tone in less than 5. Mark Berry, Jackson, Seth, your order to the start of this race. Mark, Jackson, Berry, Seth, your battle. Oh, caution on the straightaway. Oh, Seth getting railroaded to the outside.
4 minutes left.
.345 left. Jackson Dunn, Mark Rodriguez, your bumps. Barry, Scott, Seth is your battle for that number 3 spot. Barry in the clear body. Somebody needs to buy Barry a can of paint. So race 4 coming up next. That's our first of our A mains. Novice A main is up next. So Mark, Barry, and Scott is your battle for the bump. Barry now going to take it. Scott to the 3, Mark to the 4.
Three minutes left.
Barry making a mistake in the roller coaster. Going to fall back to 4, maybe more. Seth right there as well. 3, 4, and 5 is your battle. They're 3.5 back from the bump. Scott Grout in that number 2 spot coming to the line. Scott, his best lap there, 14.605. 3, 4, 5 all together working the wall ride. Barry, Seth, and Mark as they run, working into the roller coaster. Scott Grout to the roller coaster. A second group led by Barry Torseth, working through the square, 2:15 to go.
Two minutes left.
Your bump car making a mistake getting up to the square. It's going to allow your 3 and 4, Barry Torseth and Seth Bozer, to close in. Scott going to lose that bump position. Barry now to the 2. Seth Bozer closing right in. It's now going to be Scott, Seth, and Barry as they run to the line. 1 minute to go.
1 minute left.
Well, Seth tapping out again. It's going to be Scott Grout. Barry Torseth is your battle. Another 5.5 back to Seth, followed by Brian and Mark. 45 seconds left to go.
And they look the same.
20 seconds left to go. Scott Grout making a mistake there from the 3 spot. Seth going to get by. Barry on a very red lap here. Seth Bozer up to that bump spot here late. This should be their final lap. Seth in the 2 from the 4. Thought he was out of it. Working through the roller coaster. Going to get across the line here.
Seth Bozer done.
Seth Bozer going
Barry
to take
Torres
that
done.
bump
Scott Grout
spot.
done. Brian
Dropping
Butler
it
done.
cold at the back
Jackson
of the B
Dunn
main. Going to finish up in the 2 here. Jackson Dunn going to take the win. Seth Bozer,
All
your other
drivers are
bump.
finished.
Barry, Scott,
race is
Brian,
completed.
and Mark rounding out your field. I need some help with this one. Jackson Dunn, Seth Bozer, race 11. You got plenty of time.
So I bought 4 of these from. There we go.
Up next, race number 4. Novice by Team Associated. A main. One minute to the start of the race. "45 seconds to the
It's
start
novice
of the race.
time. A-Main, sponsored by Team Associated. So let's get these drivers staged up and ready to have some fun. It's Brett
30
McCarty,
seconds to
William
the start of the race. Brett
Trice,
McCarty.
Nick Pinkham, Travis
Trice.
Faust,
Nick
Olivia
Pinkham.
Dalton,
Olivia
Kyler,
Guerrero.
Briella,
Dalton
and
Guerrero.
Lila.
Travis Faust. Kyler Faust. Lila Odom.
Everybody's
15
checked.
seconds to the start of the
Looking
race.
for Briella to check. Do we have a Briella Lalone still with us today? There she
Less than 5.
is. All right, you guys take a lap, warm them up, warm them up. Let's
Briella
not
Lalone.
break them in warm-ups now. Be good, be good. Give each other room. Scott, they're going to do that a few times. Just warning you. All right, let's get Brett McCarty to the pole here. William Trice to the 2. Look at Nick Pinkham. Comes in here late with no practice, says, can I rent a loaner? And I said, sure. Have you ever run turf? Nope, but he's starting 3 on the grid today with a loaner. Let's help him get gridded up over there. Somebody walk over there. Seth Bozer, can you go over there and help the grid situation? So Nick is in the green car. Travis, he is in the 4. You got Olivia, who's basically racing for Blizzards today, is in the 5. All she's got to do is beat her bro. He's, 6, right behind for a Blizzard. Kyler in the 7. 8, Briella, and 9, Lila. So to get a Blizzard, I'm guessing that's Marysville? No, Lake Stevens, right? All right. We got us. Oh, no, Monroe's got a Dairy Queen, yeah? Yeah, that's right. I forget. They're on Highway 2. Okay, let me check my Marshall situation. We looking pretty solid. Hey, there is a little bit of known fact. You go faster if you smile. So just so you know, try that. Try it out. I think we're in good shape. Let's go racing. All right, Marshall's ready. Driver's ready. We're going to keep her clean through the first sweep. We're going to get her around the wall ride nice and clean, one by one, and go racing at the sound of the tone. Keep it clean. No, work it out now. Work it out. No moves yet there, Guerreras. Crashing onto the square. Everybody survives but the self-inflicted crashers. Nice corner marshaling out there, fast and speedy. So running away with this one is Brett McCarty. He's running like he's scared. Wow, I was wrong. William got out. William Trice is leading this pack. Olivia makes it to the 2. Uh-oh, her brother's hung up. Settle down, Dalton. Just settle down. Settle down. You're fine. 4 minutes. Lots of racing left in this. Anything can happen. Oh, Briella falls off the
4
roller
minutes
coaster.
left.
One thing I've learned when you go into the rhythm section of that roller coaster, if there's 3 cars, somebody's got to give or it does not end well. Live to race another lap. So coming across right now is your leader, William, down the straightaway, but Brett McCarty's chasing him down. Onto the wall right he goes. Olivia, 4.2 seconds off of that battle right now. They are all locked in. Oh, no, mistake out of William, needing help in the middle here. So that's going to allow Brett by. And Olivia is 5 seconds back. Travis now into the battle of for the 3. These are podium battles here. 1, 2, and 3. Brett, William, and Olivia. Travis outside looking in. Nick in the 5. Lila, Briella,
3
Dalton,
minutes left.
and Kyler. Uh-oh, on the wall right here, or on the rhythm section. Thank you. So McCarty starting to stretch it out now, 5.5. Oh, watch the square, watch the square, clear. That was Dalton. Dalton struggling on the square today. .230 to go. Watch the wall ride. Wall ride. Who's there? Who's there? Where's my wall ride? Did I miss a corner marshal there? Oh, he's behind the wall. Briella flies off the wall, and he has to go behind it. Work together, guys. Don't crash each other out now. Oh, Seth did his
2
best
minutes
there.
left.
Seth, what are you doing all the way over here? That's you're coming all the way over here from 4? Let's kind of stay closer to home if they need you there, buddy. That's Anya's world right there. 1:30, Brett McCarty, Olivia to the 2, William to the 3, Nick, minute 35 to go in the 4. So Olivia only 7.5 seconds away from Brett McCarty. So Olivia onto the wall ride, into the inside double, onto the square she goes. Olivia coming through the roller coaster. So she is your teal and your pink. So as Olivia comes up on you, work with the leaders. Work with the leaders. William, your gray car, he's in the 3. We'll find Brett. Brett just comes by. So Brett now with the yellow rear wheels.
1
That's
minute
McCarty. Yellow rear wheels. Uh-oh, makes a mistake onto the square. Here comes Olivia. A pass for the lead right there. Olivia now in the first place. Oh, have patience, Olivia. That just cost you. Have patience. Like I said, you come into that rhythm section onto the roller coaster. Somebody has to give, and there's no reason to have it cost you like that. Oh, no, mistake from Olivia on the square. $20 seconds to go. Brett going by. 10. Olivia going by. Race him to the line,
McCarty
race him to the
done.
line.
Travis Faust done. William Trice done. Dalton Guerrero done. Olivia Guerrero done. Lila Odom done.
It looks like
done.
the Guerreras
Rhea
are
Lalonde
going
done.
to Dairy Queen. It's Brett McCarty winning that one, but Olivia finishing only 9 seconds off of McCarty, making a run for the lead. And then in the 3 is William, 4 is Nick, 5 is Travis, Dalton down in the 6, Lila, Kyler, and Briella.
The race is completed. Up next, race number 5. 21.52 WD Buggy by Brenda Wilson at Health Markets. A main. One minute to the start of the race. "45 seconds to the start of the race.
All right, let me get some experienced volunteers out here, please. 21.5 two-wheel drive buggy, presented by Brenda Wilson at Health
30
Markets.
seconds
Our
to the
A
start of the
main
race.
coming up next.
Seconds to the start of the race. Less than 5.
Looking for more marshals, please. Experienced volunteers. All right, thank you very much. Zach, do I have anybody in front of the driver's stand? And I have somebody here at the wall ride? We're good? Thank you, guys. Driver's track is hot. Track is yours.
Anya Dyke. Randy Chong. Travis Miller. Andrew Chong. Ryder Dodge. Aaron McMorrin.
And
Donovan
straightaway
Jardine.
is closed. Straightaway
Painter.
is closed.
Mark Rodriguez. Scott Grout.
Anya going to start at the top. I believe that's her first TQ ever. Getting that bonus point this week. Travis Miller going to start off 2. Chris Painter having a good run. Qualifies 3. Andrew Chung and Ryder Dodge will round out your top 5. Mark Rodriguez will start 6. Scott Grout 7. Aaron, Randy, and Donovan will round out your field. Drivers ready. Marshals ready. 5 minutes to decide it. We're going on the tone in less than 5. Couple of self-induced mistakes, and we are racing. Anya may be wishing she took the tires off of my car for this one. So Travis starting out strong in that number 1 spot. He's got Andrew and Ryder. Anya all the way back to 4 already. So Anya went all the way to 10, back up to 4. Battle out front, 1, 2,
4
and
minutes
3.
left.
Travis, Andrew, Ryder. Anya only 3.5 back and 4, followed by the battle for 5 is Donovan, Aaron, and Chris. Leader working his way in through the rhythm section. Now Andrew, Ryder right there. Anya into the rhythm section. Top 4 separated by just 5 seconds. Mistake out of your leader, going to fall now to 3. So Andrew Chong, Ryder, Dodge now going to be your 1-2. Caution in the rhythm section. Put him straight, put him front side, front side, front side. There you go.
Three
So
minutes
Andrew and Ryder, Travis Red this time goes 16-1. Anya 15-5 right there. Just 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds out of that top 3. You're 1 and 2, a little bit of a breakaway. Working now through the square, coming up to the rhythm section. Ryder coming across the line. Travis across the line. Anya, a little bit of a slow one here. Andrew and Ryder, Travis Red. So Anya, her personal best, now going to be 3 seconds back from Travis. It's Anya, Chris, and Mark now your battle
2
for
minutes
4.
left.
Ryder Dodge, your leader. Andrew Chong in 2. Travis Miller is in 3. Battle is 2 and 3. Battle is 4 and 5. Anya and Chris running together. They're 4.5 back from the top 3. 1:30 to go. Caution in the rhythm. Oh, Chris getting the worst end of that, running into an upside down car. So Anya started on pole, got a little bit wonky, a rough first lap, climbing her way back up. 1:10 seconds left in this one. Searching for that podium. Aaron, be aware that's a leader directly in front of you.
1 minute left.
Or not to call your kids race, so
Andrew Chong, Travis Miller is your battle for 2 and 3. 0.3 of a second. So again, Aaron, that's leader right there. So Ryder Dodge out front, working his way down the straightaway. Andrew Chong, Travis Miller, you're 2 and 3. 20 seconds left in this one, drivers. Less than 5. Ryder Dodge is gone in that number 1 spot. Andrew Chong
Rodriguez
in the
done.
2 still.
Andrew Chong
Travis
done.
Miller still
Travis
in 3.
Miller done.
Time has expired.
Scott
Race him to
Brown
the
done.
line.
Randy Chong done. Donovan Jardie done. Anya Dyke done. Aaron McMorrin done. Ryder Dodge done.
And that is a race.
Chris
Ryder,
Spencer done.
Andrew, and Travis.
drivers are
Your
finished.
podium. Anya
The
going to
race is
finish up
completed.
4, followed by Chris, Mark, Donovan, Aaron, Randy, and Scott. Drivers from that race, park your cars, get right back out to the marshal. Race number 6 40 plus. Amen. You guys are up.
Up next, race number 6. Masters 2WD Open Buggy by Toyota Lift NW. Amen.
All right. If you haven't heard, we get to race some oval tomorrow. Come on down if you want to try out a loaner
to the
from
start
Team
of the race.
Associated. Come on out. Be starting around 11 o'clock. Track will open around 10. Also, Corey Jones handed me a couple tickets for the Boeing Classic that he's not able to use. So if you guys want to go to the Boeing Classic,
45
it's
seconds
a
to the
golf
start of the
day
race.
at the Snoqualmie Ridge. So come on and grab these tickets. There's 2 of them. I mean, I can't imagine why you'd want to go to the Boeing Classic when there's an oval race, but, you know, some people like golf.
30 seconds to the start of the race.
So it's 40-plus time. It takes them a little extra time to get up
Derek
the stairs.
Farmer.
We'll give them a second. It's Derek. It's Dan. It's Brandon. Kevin. Rob. Ricky.
15 seconds to the
Scott.
start of the race.
Kyle.
Brandon Dyke. Less than 5. Kyle Johnson.
All
Scott
right, let me
Davis.
step out and see what I got for marshals here. Yep, they're there. Look at that.
Ricky
Just
Bobby.
like we know what we're doing here.
Kevin Focht.
Warm them up, drivers, and let's keep them clean on
Rob Dodge.
warm-ups. Let's
Dan
have a
Bell.
good warm-up. Gap each other. Yep, just get some help from Steven or there. That works too, Ricky. Good job. All right, let's close it up. Close it up. Straightaway will be closed. No more new laps. No more new laps. Who just went by with a lap? Nah, not listening. When RD says close the straightaway, that's actually what I mean. Close the straightaway. So Derek Farmer, head on over. Dan. Brandon. Kevin. Rob. Ricky. Scott. He's already a lap down because he kept going when I closed the straightaway. Look at that, Scott. I guess it is 40 plus. Your hearing's probably getting tough, and we'll just talk to Kendall. Maybe some hearing. Kyle Johnson is in the back there. All right, so it's been some rough racing out here. Let's work together to clean up the racing and give a better experience for this main event. Okay, so the biggest problem is the roller coaster. If you got to give up a little bit, give up a little bit. Just don't plow through like you're a bulldozer. So here we go. Corner's ready. Driver's ready. Let's have some fun on the sound of the tone. Oh, Farmer over jumps the middle, and he survives it, luckily. Still out front here with Dan Bell in the 2. Oh, no. Mistake out of Brandon. Gets hooked on the carpet. Goes tumbling. Gonna have to go to work. Oh, no. Watch the roller coaster and clear. So your leader onto the roller coaster. Your 2, your 3. That is Derek, Dan, and Kevin. I already know if Kevin finishes in the top 3, I'll get social media out of him. So it helps me to let him get on the podium.
Four minutes left.
So Kevin just waiting for a mistake out of Bell here. Knocking on the door. Smart enough to know that it'll come when it's natural and you don't have to force it. On to the roller coaster they both go. You're 2 and 3, locked into a fantastic battle. Farmer running away. Oh, mistake. Over the wall goes Kevin. Literally goes over the new wall right here. And that is going to put him back a long way. I didn't see what tap. I think he tapped the pipe. That was a ride and a half. 3:10 to go. Farmer, Bell, Dyke, Dodge, Bozer, Johnson, Kevin, Scott.
Three minutes left.
It's a good day. Bye-bye. 240. Farmer running away 6 seconds out front. Dan Bell and Brandon Dyke locked in a battle here. Right here in the middle of the track. Coming up on the back of Davis. That's Bell. That's Dyke. Work with him, Davis. Yeah, don't force the issue through the square. Nice job. Nice job, you guys. That's respect. So Farmer showing the work he's putting in, having a clean run.
Two minutes left.
Lots of time left. Kevin starting to come back up to the field a little bit, but he suffered quite the long lap on that. Brandon and Dan still locked in a battle. Brandon getting around. Dan on the tail end of him here and onto the square. That's your battle for 2 and 3. Rob Dodge, look at him come. He's on, well, no, that's a long lap, so that puts Rob quite a ways back. No, Rob to the 3, Farmer to the 4. I'm going to check a lap. Nope, there we go. We exceeded a lap. We're good. Gotcha. Farmer, Dyke, Bell. Kevin pulling off. One minute to go.
1 minute left.
So Brandon now holding on to that, 2.8 in the 2. 3 is Dan. Rob sitting there just on the back of Dan Bell. Look at Rob Dodge. He's made his way for a last end of race battle here. Watch it on the rhythm. Watch it in the rhythm. Oh. Farmer luckily has a big lead. "20 seconds. So that long lap from Dodge gets him out of that battle for the 3. But Bell, 3 seconds now out in front. 5, 4, 3. Erase him to the line. Erase him to the
Derek
line.
Farmer done. Scott Davis done.
Again, thank
Brandon
you all
Dyke
for
done.
coming. Please tidy up
Ricky
your
Bobby
area.
done.
There's dumpsters.
Johnson done.
I did get behind on the hand washing
Dan
station
Bell
today.
done.
I apologize, but it is full now.
Rob Dodge done.
I
All drivers are finished.
definitely
the race
missed
is
the better
completed.
half of DieHard, Mrs. Wilson. Your order for the Masters Tool Drive Open, sponsored by Toyota Lift, is Derek Farmer, Brandon Dyke, Dan Bell, Rob Dodge, Ricky Bozer, Kyle Johnson, Scott Davis, and Kevin.
Up next, race number 7. Senior Buggy 55 plus. A main. Mike Hood. One minute to the start of the race. Barry Torseth, Brian Butler, Peter Nielsen. 45 seconds to the start of the race. Bam bam. 30 seconds to the start of the race.
Don't hang your head too low. You got a good day, okay? You did great.
All right, race number 7.
15 seconds to the start of the race.
55 plus.
John Dunn.
Let's go ahead and get the rest of my marshals out from 40 plus.
Less than 5.
And I'm going to need a little bit of help. I'm back to back, so if I could get a volunteer out there, please. All right, thank you guys. Mike Hood, your TQ, Peter Nielsen 2, Brian Butler 3, Dan Wilcox, John Dunn, and Barry Torseth. All right, looks like we're all set here. Do I have somebody at the wall right? I do. And in front, we're good. Drivers ready. Marshals ready. We're going on the tone in less than 5. Oh, a couple of cars getting it wrong. Gonna shake things up a little bit here. Peter Nielsen down Wilcox. Open up in those top 2 spots. Peter and Dan sitting with an 8-second lead over the field.
Four minutes left.
A minute 30 now, quickly over in this one. Battle is for 2 and 3. Brian Butler and Dan Wilcox. Brian in the blue and green, Dan in the yellow and orange.
Three minutes left.
2 down and 3 to go. Peter Nielsen holding his own in that number 1 spot here. And Peter on a very red lap. It's like yep, we're good. Oh, we got all sorts of scoring issues here. Yeah, something's wrong with the loop, guys. Sorry. Working on it. Keep it going. Keep it going. 3 down, 2 to go.
2 minutes left.
So Peter, Brian, Dan, Barry, John, and Mike, your running order. Brian Butler, Dan Wilcox, your best battle. Brian coming to the line. Dan Wilcox right there. So Peter out front by 15 seconds. Brian Butler, Dan Wilcox separation is just 1.7. And Brian going to make a mistake and allow Dan to get right there. So Peter is a lap ahead of those two. Brian and Dan running 2 and 3. That is your battle. 1 minute to go.
1 minute left.
Dan with the inside look, gets it, makes it stick, coming to the line. Dan Wilcox now to 2, Brian to 3. Oh, and Dan tapping out. Oh, and Brian taps out. So Peter is, again, 1 lap ahead of these drivers. Dan Wilcox running in that 2 spot, 20 seconds to go. Battle is John Dunn and Brian Butler. John Dunn now to 3. Caution rhythm, caution rhythm.
Brian Butler done. Bam Bam done.
Oh, and Dan
Mark
with a
done.
disaster of a last lap falls 2 to
Barry Torres
4.
done.
It's going to be Peter, John,
Peter
and
Nielsen
Brian, your
John
podium.
done.
Dan Wilcox
All
finishes
drivers
4,
are
followed by
finished.
Mike and
The race is
Barry.
completed.
That is a race. All stop, all done. All stop, all done. 4-wheel drive modified is up
Up
next.
Race number 8. 4WD Mod Buggy by Sunpedo USA. Amen.
And we're going to need some volunteer corner marshals for this one. I need 3 volunteers to help me out here.
One minute to the start of the race. "45 seconds to the start of the race. "30 seconds to the start of the race. Bradley Sproul.
Again, marshals to position so we can get this race underway, please. Marshals to position. I need a few volunteers to
15
help me
seconds
out.
to the start of the race. Less than 5. Kyle Johnson. Milky. Magic Man.
All right, do I have somebody at the wall ride? Do I have a marshal at the wall ride? Yes, no. Do I have somebody in front of the driver's stand? All right, we got checks on everybody. Straightaway is closed. Ash and Bristol, your TQ. Bradley Sproul will start off 2. Brett Wilson 3. Kyle Johnson 4. Drivers ready. Marshals ready. We are going on the tone in less than 5. Bradley, Kyle, and Brett, your battle for that number 2 spot. Oh, Bradley looking good over that hip jump at the end of the rhythm that time by. Had that car perfectly arched.
4 minutes left.
Kyle in the 3 spot. Brett Wilson in 4. Ashton Bristol working across the line, working down the back straightaway now in the 1 spot. Hot lap on track belongs to Ashton Bristol with an 11.8. Bradley and Kyle is the best battle on track. Separation is 1.1. Bradley's got a 12.4, a 12.3 out of Kyle. Losing Kyle off of the rhythm section. So that's going to bring, I believe that brings Brett Wilson now. It does. Brett Wilson, Kyle Johnson now going to be your battle for 3 and 4. Just over halfway, 2:30 down, 2:30 to go. Kyle and Brett, your battle. So Brett Wilson only about a second and a half off the back, make it less off of the back of Kyle now as he's trying to work with Bradley and Ashton. He's going to tuck in and follow, maybe find a little bit more speed as he follows the top 2 cars around. 1:45 left to go. Top 2 separated by a lap. Kyle Johnson, Brett Wilson. I told you Brett would find some speed there. Just turned his best lap of the race. So Kyle 1.3 up on Brett Wilson now. Maybe less as they come to the line. And it is 1 second. Battle is for 3 and 4. 1:25 to go. And those 2 separated by just car lengths.
One minute left.
Inside of 1 minute to go. Brett Wilson, Kyle Johnson. The roles have reversed. Kyle now in chase. Fifteen seconds to go in this one. Everyone pretty well settled. Got to get another clean lap out of the field to get them through. Brett Wilson gets by for the extra lap here. 1 and time. Kyle gets by as well. So Kyle and Brett are live on the same lap. So that
Bradley
actually going to tighten up as Brett makes a mistake getting into the square. But he's going to come home in that number 3 position. Ashton, Bradley,
done.
Brett, and Kyle, your finishing order. That is a race. All stop, all done. I'm going to need 4 volunteers to help me out with this one. Race number 9, 13.5 4-wheel, presented by Linwood Auto and Truck Service. You guys are next.
By Linwood Auto and Truck Service. Amen. 1 minute to the start of the race. "45 seconds to the start of the race.
And just a reminder, if you've got a tab open at Extreme
Garrett
RC
Riedel.
Northwest, let's go ahead and get those settled. Try and get those done
Scott
so
Jackson.
they can get out of here
30
as
seconds
soon
to the
as we
start
are
of the
done
race.
racing. Thank you very much for getting that settled. Again, if you have a tab to get settled with Extreme RC,
Kevin
go see
Focht.
Kendall. She's in the trailer right now.
Dan
As an
Bell.
added bonus, you get a couple of minutes of free air conditioning.
15 seconds to the start of the race.
Again, I need some help to get through this one. We only had 4 drivers in that last race. So, again, I need some more marshals. I need marshals in the
Less
sweeper.
than 5. Ricky
Kyle,
Bobby.
do I have anybody at the wall ride?
Travis Miller.
Do I have anybody in front of the driver's stand? Okay, give me a marshal in front of the driver's stand. We can get going. We're good? All right, drivers. Track is hot. Track is yours.
Rob Dodge. Ryder Dodge. Chris Painter. Randy Chong.
We've got checks on everybody. Let's go ahead and set our grid. Straightaway is closed. Dan Bell, your top qualifier today in 13.5 four-wheel. Garrett Rectal going to start off in 2. Ricky Bozer will start in 3. Kevin Foch going to start off in position number 4. Rob Dodge from the 5. Scott Jackson 6. Travis Miller 7. Ryder Dodge, Chris Painter, and Randy Chong. Grid's looking good. Drivers ready. Marshals ready. Keep it clean. We're going on the tone in less than 5. Caution at the hip. Coming up to 1 minute into this one. Garrett, Ricky, Scott, your battle separation, only 2.5.
4 minutes left.
Garrett hanging the pipe. Ricky and Scott clean. Coming across the line. Garrett, Ricky, Scott. 1.9 now separating your top 3. Dan Bell running 4. Randy, Kevin, Chris, Rob, Ryder, and Travis rounding out your field. Ricky getting caught up in a mess. 2, 6, 3, and 1, your top 4. 10, Randy Chong having a good run up to 5. Battle is for 3 and 4. Ricky Bozer and Dan Bell down that back straightaway. Ricky, base white, the orange and yellow and blue, white wheels. Dan Bell,
3
white,
minutes
yellow,
left.
and blue. Oh, Dan rolling it. Oh, Ricky rolls it over as well. Getting into some trouble. Dan making a second mistake. Good sportsmanship there with the rejoin. Thank you, Dan. Ricky Bozer and Dan Bell. Separation is less than 1. Dan going to get by this time. No, he's not. That's another car. That's Ricky or Randy. Randy and Dan, very similar colors. Oh, and Scott Jackson making a mistake. So Ricky Bozer taking over the 2. I think Marshall thought Scott was pulling his car. So battle is blue and green. And then yellow and blue as they work through the rhythm section. Not that yellow and blue, the other yellow and blue behind. That's 3 and 4. Ricky Bozer getting the opportunity to sit in that number 2 spot for the time being. 1:30 left to go. Scott Jackson in pursuit. Ricky and Scott now no car separation. Working their way down the back straightaway. Ricky down the straightaway. Scott down the straightaway. Dan down the straightaway. That's 2, 3, and 4. First place is Garrett Reckdahl. Garrett, a red lap that time by, had a 10-second lead. And that lead now cut in half. It's 5 seconds. So the battle is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's Ricky, Scott, Dan, Robin, Kevin. Travis running 7, followed by Randy, Chris, and Ryder.
1 minute left.
.45 seconds to go. Ricky holding steady in 2. Dan Bell, Scott Jackson, and Rob Dodge. Your battle to round out the top 5. 30 seconds. And less than 5 drivers. Keep it going, keep it going. Race them to the line. Garrett getting by
Ryder
for
Dodge
a
done.
victory lap
Chris
here
Painter
in
done.
13.5
Travis
four-wheel
Miller done.
drive.
Ricky Bobby done. Randy Chong
Ricky
done.
Bozer
Dan Bell done.
in
Scott
the 2
Jackson
spot.
done.
Dan Bell finishing up
Kevin
on the
Foch
podium in
done.
3. Scott
Rob
Jackson
Dodge
4,
done.
followed by Rob,
Garrett
Kevin,
Riedel
Chris,
done.
Travis, Randy,
drivers are
and
finished.
Ryder.
The race
That
is
is the
completed.
race. All stop, all done. All stop, all done. Drivers from that race, park your cars. Get right back out there to Marshall, looking for 13.5 Stadium Truck. Coming up next.
Up next, race number 10. 2WD 13.5 Stadium Truck by the Deitch family. A main.
Does my car still have tire on the back? Hand me my car, please.
One minute to the start of the race.
All right. Thanks.
Scott Jackson.
Again, I had 10 drivers in that one. I only
45
have
seconds to the
one
start of the
driver
race.
back-to-back. Should be plenty good on Marshall's. Hey, Ricky. Nice job.
.30 seconds to the start of the race.
That was a solid number 2. Ha, that was a poop joke.
15 seconds to the start of the race.
Again, I had 10 drivers in that one. I only have one driver back-to-back, which means I've got 9 drivers to fill 8 buckets. I should be
Less than 5.
plenty good.
Randy Chong.
Do I have a Marshall in front of the driver's stand? Copy that. Driver's track is hot. Track is yours.
Donovan Jardí. Zach Lalone. Andrew Chong. Pablo Guerrero. Jackson done.
And we got checks on everybody. Straightaway is closed. Scott Jackson, your TQ. Jackson done in that 2 spot. Zach Lalone 3. Scott Jackson and Jackson Dunn have had battles all season long here in Stadium Truck. Zach Lalone in that 3. Randy Chong 4. Pablo in 5. Donovan and Andrew rounding out your field. All right, drivers ready, marshals ready. 5 minutes to get her going on the tone in less than 5. So Zach either switching trucks or switching bodies, but he's right there in the mix. Oh, Jackson going to make a mistake, so it's going to be Zach Lalone back up to the 2 spot here. So it's Jackson, Scott Jackson out front, Zach Lalone 2, Jackson Dunn falls to 3, followed by Andrew, Randy, Donovan, and Pablo 1 minute into this one.
Four minutes left.
Again, drivers immediately following main events, we'll be having podium pictures, top 3 for all classes. 1:15 into this one. Zach and Jackson is your battle. Zach through the roller coaster. Jackson through the roller coaster. Both of those guys going through clean. Oh, Zach making a mistake, getting onto the back straightaway move. Jackson Dunn up to 2. Zach Lalone going to swap spots there to the 3 spot. Factory roll. Settle back down. You're going to get it back together. Randy Chong in 4. He's chasing down Zach. Battle now going to be 3, 4, and 5. That's Zach, Andrew, Zach, Randy, and Andrew.
Three minutes left.
Caution rhythm. Caution rhythm. Scott Jackson has opened up a 3-second lead over Jackson Dunn. Jackson and Zach separated by 1.5. That is the closest battle on the track. Zach Lalone now only going to be just a few truck lengths behind as they work across the loop and down the straightaway. You're 2 and 3 running together up and down the wall ride. The Joker scheme, purple and white with the green trim, is Jackson Dunn. Zach running the pink front, silver rear, pink and yellow wheels. Down the back straightaway for your 2 and
left.
3. Zach being patient right here, trying to find the move, find the line that Jackson leaves open or the mistake like right there. So down the straightaway, 2 and 3 still together. Andrew right there. Andrew's in that number 6 spot though, 1 lap off. Minute 35 to go. Oh no, and Zach makes a mistake. Jackson Dunn now back to the 2 spot. So Zach with a little bit of work to do. Jackson wisely checking up, getting through traffic right there. Oh, Pablo not finding the right direction on the steering wheel through the rhythm section that time. 4 minutes down inside of 1 minute to go. Your battle's still 2 and 3. Working the rhythm section is Jackson Dunn. Zach Lalone is right there. Working across the loop, coming across the line here. That separation is 1.7 and closing. Zach coming in hot. Donovan, third place, is right behind you, coming in hot. Thank you, sir. 2 and 3, up the wall ride, down the wall ride, in through that center double. Jackson Dunn getting it done. Oh, and Zach going to make a mistake. Give Ryder Dodge the Gold Glove Award for marshaling today. Catches Zach midair. Less than 10. We'll see if they get by for another one. So Jackson Dunn will get by for another one as he comes here. 5 seconds as he's in front of the booth. Across the line at 2. Zach Lalone in front of the booth. He's going to get caught at the line
Zach
right
Lalone
there.
done.
Jackson Dunn squeaking by.
Randy Chong done.
Scott Jackson and
Scott
Jackson
Jackson
Dunn
done.
going to be your top
Donovan
2.
Jardine
Zach
done.
Lalone rounding out your podium, followed by Randy and Donovan looking
Andrew
for a finish
Chong done.
on
Pablo
nobody.
Guerrero
We're
done.
good. Scott
Jackson
Jackson,
Dunn done.
and Zach your
drivers are
podium,
finished.
followed by Randy, Donovan,
The race is
Andrew, and
completed.
Pablo. That is a race. All stop, all done, all stop, all done. 17.5
next,
buggy is up
race number
next.
11.
I need 3
17.52
volunteers to help me
WD
out
buggy
with
by
this
Puffer
one.
Fish
3
Racing.
volunteers.
Amen. One minute to the start of the race. "45 seconds to the start of the race. Garrett Riekdal. 30 seconds to the start of the race. Mike Hood. Scott Jackson. Rob Dodge. "15 seconds to the start of the race. Ricky Bobby. Seth Bozer. Less than 5.
All
Chris
right.
Painter.
I need a marshal on 4. John, do I have anybody in front of the driver's stand? Do I have anybody in front of the driver's stand? Do I have anybody at the wall ride? Copy that. We're good. Driver's track is hot. Track is yours.
Rio Malver. Dan Bell. Jackson Dunn.
And shut him down, shut him down, shut him down. Okay, that's weird. Why do I have a Peter Nielsen checking? Okay, let's try this again. I need to get everybody one at a time across the loop. We'll do it by the grid. Go ahead and, yeah, Garrett, everybody queue up here in the front. Work your way around the track, normal direction. And I'm going to queue you guys over one at a time. I somehow have 11 transponders on track with 10 cars. And I don't know why. Garrett, get back to the loop, please. And then go to the grid spot. Yeah, Garrett, you're good. Back to your grid. Dan Bell across the loop into the grid. Dan Bell, I have no check on you. Let's get Dan Bell back on the loop. Okay, Dan, you're good. Go to the grid. Ricky Bozer, check into the grid. Aha. Okay. I found our problem. Okay, Rob Dodge, Scott Jackson, Rio Mulver, Chris Painter, Mike Hood, Jackson Dunn. You're all good. And Seth Bozer, I need you across the line. There's our issue right here. Seth, I run a different transponder every time I put my car on the track. Bozer.
Seth Bozer.
Okay. So just for clarity, it's Garrett, Dan, Ricky, Rob, Scott, Rio, Chris, Mike, Jackson, and Seth. There we go. Drivers ready. Marshall's ready. 17.5. Two-wheel drive buggy on the tone in less than 5. Everybody's still coming down in a line. Ricky getting it wrong in that center double, going to fall back to 9. He's going to do some work. Work together in the back. There's 4 or 5 of you kind of lumped in together. So Garrett, Dan, Rob, Scott, Rio, Jackson, Mike, Chris, Ricky, and Seth. You're running order 45 seconds in. Everybody within 5 seconds.
Four minutes left.
Battles out front. Garrett and Dan. Chris Painter right there in the middle. Thank you very much. So, Chris, you are racing with Seth. That's red and teal. .130 into this one. 3:30 to go. Work together. Keep it clean through that center section. Garrett, Dan, and Rob, your top 3. Rio Mulver, a good run in 4. So Rob Dodge coming across the loop now in that number 3 position. He's 2 seconds back from your lead group. Garrett working across the front, coming to the
3
line in
minutes left.
1 spot. Dan Bell coming across in 2. Hot lap on track, that time by Garrett Rectal, 13.5. Getting close to halfway, 2:15 into this one, 2:45 to go. Leader is working through traffic. Leader, white, pink, and blue, up the wall ride. Mike Hood, Chris Painter, Seth Bozer, you guys are all racing. Rio Mulver, Jackson Dunn, Scott Jackson, you're all racing. Garrett and Dan are racing together, running 1 and 2. 1.5 seconds is the separation. 2 minutes to go, drivers.
2 minutes
So there's
left.
2 lap cars separating your first and second place. Rio, you have first place coming up right behind you. Thank you. Caution, roller coaster. Good awareness, Garrett. So Rio, Ricky, and Jackson having a battle for 4, 5, and 6. It's Garrett out front by 2. Dan Bell in second. Rob Dodge 4 seconds back. It's 8.6 back to Rio, Ricky, and Jackson. And Scott Jackson in 7, followed by Chris, Mike, and Seth. 1:15 to go. Rio, Jackson, and Ricky is your battle. All 3 of those guys working their way across the line, down the back straightaway. Rio in the red and black.
1 minute left.
Jackson in purple It falls back. It's going to be Ricky now up to that number 5 position. 45 seconds left to go. Garrett and Dan, separation just 2. That's your top 2. Garrett to the square. Dan Bell. Oh, Garrett, a mistake as he works through the rhythm section, trying not to run over anybody in traffic. Coming up to the wall ride. 1 lap car in between as Dan Bell rolls in the number 2 spot. 30 seconds remaining, trying to close that gap. It's 2 seconds and holding. So Chris Painter, 1 car coming up behind you. Oh, and we lost the loop. Guys, keep going, keep going.
Jackson done. Garrett Riekle
Keep
done.
it going, drivers. Keep it going.
Dan Bell done. Chris Painter done. Rio Malver done. Rob Dodge done.
I believe I got
Seth Bozer
everybody.
done. Scott Jackson done. All drivers are finished. The race is completed.
And that is a race. Garrett Rectal, Dan Bell, Rob Dodge, your top 3. Rio in 4, followed by Ricky, Scott, Jackson, Chris, Mike, and Seth. Drivers from that race, park your cars, get right back out of the Marshall. Final race of the afternoon coming up next.
Up next, race number 12. 2WD Modified Buggy by Wild Events. A main. One minute to the start of the race.
Kevin.
"45 seconds to the start of the race. "30 seconds to the start of the race. "15 seconds to the start of the race.
All right, getting our final marshals in position. Thank you guys for the quick
Derek
turnaround.
Farr,
Drivers,
less than 5.
I need my marshal to 7. Marshal to the wall ride, that's 7. Do I have a marshal at 7? Copy that. Drivers, track is hot. Track is yours.
Tyler Jones. Kevin Focht. Gavin Dyke. Milky. Magic Man. Zach Lalone. Bradley Sproul. Kyle Johnson. Rio Malver.
All right, we have checks on all drivers. Straightaway is closed. Derek Farmer, your top qualifier. Tyler Jones will start off 2. Ashton Bristol will roll off from the number 3 spot. Kevin Focht 4. Brett Wilson 5. Bradley Sproul cosplaying as Dan Bell will be 6. Kyle Johnson 7. Gavin 8. Rio 9. Zach 10. Drivers ready. Marshals ready. Final race of the day. Two-wheel drive modified A-main on the tone in less than 5. Good job getting up that wall ride. We are racing. Nice patience out of the back half of the field. Now the best thing you guys can do is wait for the opportunity to come. Don't force the issue early. Battle up front. Tyler Jones and Ashton Bristol going to get around Farmer here. So 1, 2, and 3 still together. Jones and Bristol muscling their way around Derek, beating and banging. Brett, Kevin, and Gavin rounding out your lead group. Oh, caution in the sweeper.
4 minutes left.
Ashton, Tyler, Derek, and Brett, your lead group. Gavin and Kevin doing battle 5 and 6. Rio, Zach, Bradley, and Kyle rounding out your field. Minute 45 into this one. Ashton, Tyler, Derek, Brett, your top battle. And Tyler Jones working through some traffic right there. Gavin, that's second place right there with you. That's first and second now directly behind
3
you.
3 minutes left.
You're racing Kevin, pink and yellow, Gavin. Oh, and Tyler Jones going down off of the roller coaster. Ashton going to get some breathing room as he works his way. Thank you, Kevin. So, Gavin, you've got Derek and Tyler are coming up behind you. You're still racing Kevin. That's pink and yellow. So 2.5 down, 2.5 to go. Ashton, Tyler, Derek, your top 3. Brett in 4. Kevin and Gavin, 5 and 6. Rio, Bradley, and Zach rounding out your field. So it looks like Rio and Dan Bell. It's actually Rio and Bradley. Separation starting to happen. Best battle is 3 and 4. Derek Farmer and Brett Wilson.
Two minutes left.
So Derek in the green with flames. Brett Wilson, white, orange, and teal. Working into the roller coaster section they go. Gavin in 5. Kevin and Rio. Gavin, Kevin, Rio, another battle. Bradley at the back of that field in 8. Minute 45 to go. The hardest part about modified racing is remembering that those cars have way more power than what most of us mortals know what to do with. Keeping it sane. Ashton, Tyler, Derek, Brett, Gavin, your top 5. Battle on track is Gavin and Kevin still. Those two have been going at it for the last 3.5 minutes. This time it's Kevin in 5, Gavin in 6. That's cars 4 and 8, so both of these drivers running. Oh, no.
1 minute left.
And Gavin getting stuck, not his own fault, not his fault. Put Gavin there on the front. Put him on the front. Go. Go, Gavin. "45 seconds left. And that's 2 and 3 right behind you, buddy. So Ashton, Tyler, Derek, Brett, Kevin, Gavin, Rio, Bradley, and Zach, your whole field here. 20 seconds left to go. Gavin, Rio, and Bradley is the battle. Make it Bradley, Rio, and Gavin this time by. And race them to the line, drivers. Race them to the line.
Milky done. Tyler Jones done. Derek Farmer done. Gavin Dyke done. Bradley Sproul done. Magic Man done.
Ashton,
Kevin
Tyler,
Foch
and
done.
Derek going to round out
Zach
your
Lamont
podium.
done.
Brett Wilson, Kevin
Rio
Foch,
Halver done.
Bradley Sproul,
All drivers are
Rio,
finished.
Gavin,
The
and
race is
Zach going to
completed.
round out your field. That is a race all stop, all done. Good racing throughout. Top 3 podium pictures in front of the driver's stand in a few minutes here. Let's go with 5:35. That's 5 minutes. And podium pictures in 5 minutes. All classes, top 3.